Okie dokie, boys and girls. Today we have an active rest day, and I will just be repeating some movements that I've been training lately, which is planche push ups, regular push ups, and chin ups. And it's an active rest day, so obviously I'm gonna do them lightly, just like I did my movements a bit lighter yesterday. But when it comes to active rest days, it's really just like slow running. When you're like a runner, you train 80% of your running in like a slow pace, right? A conversational pace, and it's easy. You're not even thinking about your pace. And that's kind of the same approach I'm taking to today. And just like, you won't be paying attention to your pace on your easy runs, I'm not going to pay attention to whatever the hell I'm doing today. Today I want it to be easy. I want it to be natural, right? I don't want to get in the zone, right? Today the goal is to actually not get in the zone and to just do whatever I am able to do in a normal state. So I will just go out there. I think I'll go outside. It's good weather. Perhaps a storm is coming though. But I'll head outside. I won't warm up, and I don't want to promote not warming up, but by warming up, you're kind of getting into the zone, right? And my goal today is to just move my body around a little bit. And so what I'll do is I'll skip the warm up, and I'll just take whatever I can do without any warm up safely. And that way, I'm kind of in this state where I'll be doing light stuff, right? Because if I go over my light range, I guess, then I will notice it, right? It will feel forced, and I want to avoid it at the moment. But these workouts, I don't really watch progression. Of course, I notice like, hey, I'm doing these light workouts, and they're better than the light workouts I was doing before. Like my base is rising. Like this is good. I notice it, but it's important not to chase it. Oftentimes, maybe too often, we try to chase progress. We all want progress. That's obvious, right? That's why you train. You don't train to stay the same, right? You train to make progress. So it's natural that we chase the progress, but on days like this, it's important to not do that, in my opinion. And so, yes, I will probably do some stuff today and think to myself, like, hey, that's better than last time, but I'm gonna try not to get greedy and do even more next time. I'll just see what I can do. And that's the most important part of this workout. That's how it's with the planche push-ups. That's how it's with the chin-ups, if I show those. That's how it's with the regular push-ups. On the regular push-ups, for example, I'm doing sets of 60, right? And perhaps the next week, I want to do 70 reps on a greasing the groove set. But if I don't feel it, I'm not going to do it, right? I don't want to get greedy. I want to make sure that light days stay light and heavy days stay heavy. So that's going to be the workout for today. Let's go. All right. Planche push-ups are done. Only 3 sets now that the regular push-up volume has been increased tremendously. Obviously a bit of energy is gonna be sapped away from the shoulders as well, and so I'm doing a bit less planche in total. I used to do 5 sets per workout about 4 times a week. Now it's just 3 sets, but I'm still feeling like I'm able to maintain my strength. And you see a backpack on my back. Well, obviously not on my belly, but the reason being is I'm able to do 5 sets of 10 planche push-ups in the straddle planche quite easily at the moment. However, when it comes to the full planche, I struggle to do a set with 6 reps. It's way more difficult. And of course, if I train the full planche directly, right, that's the most specific training I can do. Maybe that's better, but for me at the moment, planche is not my main goal. And so taking a big leap to the full planche is gonna take away too much energy. And so what I do instead is I progress in a smaller way. I add some weight on my back. I have 4 kilos. But this is a tip you can use as well if you're focusing on the planche, right? Let's say you have your straddle planche and you want to progress to your full planche, but it's too big of a step. Well, think smaller, right? Can you do the straddle planche with perhaps 1 kilo on your back? Perhaps with half a kilo, perhaps with 100 grams. I don't care. Can you do something that is theoretically more difficult than a straddle planche, no matter how small the jump is? And the answer is mostly going to be yes, right? So do it. And it might not be, directly the full planche training, but if you ask yourself, who's closest to the full planche? The guy who can do a straddle planche at body weight, or the guy who can do a straddle planche with 1 kilo added to his body weight, right? The answer is simple, right? And so if the jump to another progression is too big, just add some weight or something, or add some other kind of resistance. Make smaller jumps until you feel like the jump to the next progression is feasible, right? If you're doing straddle planche with 5 kilos, right, and you're holding it for 5 seconds, but you still feel like the full planche is too far away, well, add 6 kilos, add 10 kilos, add 100 kilos until I don't know the jump to the full planche feels feasible, right? Until you feel like, hey, I'm attempting this and I'm getting close. Make progression as small as possible. That's all I'm trying to say. But anyway, now it's time for some regular push-ups, or I guess you can call them Japanese push-ups. All right, that should be 60 push-ups. I'm trying to do 5 sets of these every day, but I'm trying to spread them out as much as possible, increasing groove style. So when I wake up, I'll do a set. When I get back from my run, I'll do a set. When I get back from work, I'll do a set. During the workout, I'll do a set. When I'm cooking dinner, I'll do another set. That's 5 sets, but they're spread out throughout the day. The minimum interval I'm trying to have on these is 10 minutes in between, because 60 push-ups, it barely burns, but my breath goes up, you can hear it. And so if I do these push-ups, set after set after set, you're doing like 5 minutes in between, well, they're gonna become tiring, the burn is gonna become intense, and it's no longer an active rest day. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today's workout. I'll see you tomorrow for leg day.